Hi, I'm Dave, and this is another Autocratik broadcast. First one of the new year. Happy New Year. I bought the wife a new video game. Typically, the frame went off. There we go. Disney Infinity 2.0. The wife loves Disney stuff, and we both love the Avengers. I mean, who doesn't really? So it just felt like a natural thing to do. Play some video games together, which is good because it's co-op. Hey! Although the wife was playing mostly and I was playing second character and I didn't get any achievements, which is a bit of a downer really. But the game seems to be pretty darn good, and the great advantage is that you get these really cool characters. I mean, look at that, look at him. Oh, you can't really, he's out of focus. How about recognize Hawkeye? Hawkeye. The game itself is pretty darn good. Basically, if you took Lego, one of the Lego games, especially Lego Marvel Superheroes, of course, which is a great game. If you joined that with something like Minecraft and Skylanders, that's the best way to describe it. If you merge all those games together, that's basically what Disney Infinity is. You stand your little figures on a glowing pedestal and it recognises the characters. So what I started thinking about was this in terms of tabletop role-playing. It's a bit of a weird one, but we were playing along as you imagine, beating up the frost giants and smashing through buildings and stuff like that, which is all cool. And here we go. Oh, here's me spawning as the mighty Thor. Thor's awesome. Next year, instead of Elf on the Shelf that everybody was doing for Christmas, I'm going to do Thor on the Floor. No? Thor's awesome. He does some really cool flying stuff. Hang on, let's see if I can get him to do that. Boing, here he goes. And into the floor. Anyway, but what got me interested was this little thing down here. When you get enough experience, RPGing again, you open up something called a skill tree, which looks a bit like this. When you level up, you gain the ability to do extra things. It's sounding a bit familiar, isn't it? Special feats. They're actually just called abilities in this one. But yeah, basically you get things like health boosting, heavy hammer, damage increase, run faster, do a special attack, and that kind of shenanigans and stuff like that. I started thinking about it and thinking, yeah, well, these skill tree things, I've seen them before in lots of role-playing games. I think the first RPG that I saw that had skill trees was Paranoia, the Games Workshop edition, if I remember rightly. Wow, that's going back a bit. I don't even have that one anymore, I don't think. But it kind of rang home with a current RPG. The game that it reminded me most of was actually Star Wars. The new version of Star Wars. The Fantasy Flight one. Because, lo and behold, as your character progresses, you get skill trees. And, well, as they call them, talent trees in this one. So the higher up the level is, you get to unlock some cool abilities that your character can do. Then that got me thinking about something else. There are a couple of unlockables in this Marvel and Disney 2.0. You get to unlock Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, and you get to unlock Luke's land speeder. Which kind of implies that, while this is Disney 2.0, that Disney 3.0, which is bound to happen before Christmas this year, is going to be Star Wars. Can you imagine Star Wars figures that look like these? I mean, come on. You know, little Samuel L. Jackson looking that awesome, but as Mace Windu. How cool. Or you get all the classic characters, little Han Solo. I've seen some fan-made production sketches online of what they think they're going to look like, and it is just going to be amazing. So Disney own Star Wars and Marvel and their own properties, of course, and Muppets and Pirates of the Caribbean and Pixar. It's just everything could end up in this game. and yet it uses the same sort of thing as a basic tabletop role-playing game. So why hasn't there been a Disney tabletop role-playing game? So the other thing that Infinity does really well is this thing. It's the toy box. This is basically if Disney made Minecraft but didn't make it all blocky and incorporated a lot of properties that they currently own, of course. So you can see the cars, and there's little Merlin from Sword and Stone, and there's Thor right in the middle of it all, which is a bit weird. Boom, pow, pow. Lots of things happening at once there. Yeah, the toy box is kind of like Minecraft, where you can build your own settings and scenarios and stuff like that, and you can build your own games. So just when you thought the game is just going to be running around and beating things up with mighty meow meow, it also turns into a driving game, which is quite wacky. So yeah, it gives you racing games, and in addition to racing, it sets up obstacle courses. This one's based on Disney's Aladdin, which is a great film. I love Aladdin. Is this the city? It is. It's the cityscape out around the background, which pops up, and you can customize it and change it as you will. And then you get to be a bit like The Sims, really, where you build your own house and decorate it. I know Debs has been playing a lot with Black Widow, which is an awesome character as well. Cool. What? Look at that. Anyway, Black Widow currently has a rather large mansion, which has a lovely room dedicated to Hawkeye. Yeah, Disney Infinity's got a lot of potential to it. You can build your own settings and build your own games and things like that, and then you can upload them onto a server, and you can download them yourself, ones that fans have made. So there's people who built the castle from Brave as a tower defense thing, and people who built Frozen and Tron and all that kind of shenanigans, which is fantastic. And it's a bit like Forge was on Halo, which is great idea. Get the community building things, and let other people play with it and customize it and re-upload it themselves. It's all like one big communal game thing. So if you've got all these properties, and it's basically an RPG with world building elements to it, then you start thinking about tabletop role-playing again. So Fantasy Flight have got their game, which uses skill trees and cool looking dice. Margaret Weiss Productions did an awesome Marvel game about a year or two ago, which unfortunately has disappeared now. There have been attempts at other things like that, but what I could see happening in an ideal world, just putting this out there, is how about if Disney made a tabletop RPG? I know the market probably isn't huge for it, at least not in their minds. I mean, it's certainly nowhere near as big as the video game market. But say, for example, they made a tabletop RPG. If they did a basic, the equivalent of Disney Infinity, which is a core rule book, which is just the rules for how to play the game. And then you have expansions, which are Star Wars, Marvel, and Tron, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Muppets. Introducing RPGs to a whole new market, it could be that the potential is there to do something like a Frozen RPG or Brave or something like that. I mean, it wouldn't have to be necessarily as shoehorned or badly customized as having here's an RPG for girls, which I think is a terrible idea anyway. RPGs are for everybody. You don't have to customize them for a specific target market. But if you've got kids playing Disney as a world in a tabletop RPG, I mean, look at the potential of that. The crossover. You could have Peter Pan, Beauty and the Beast. It would be like Once Upon a Time, the TV series. All you need is the one rule set, and people could buy the expansions and build upon them. I mean, one of the first RPGs I wrote when I was about 12, because I really wanted to do a homebrew, was Tron. Because I love Tron. I love Tron so much. Especially the new one as well. The new one's amazing. Why it didn't get the recognition, I don't know. And what about the cartoon? Tron Uprising. Please, somebody, just release it on DVD. And do another series. Because it was ace. Enough of this kind of shenanigans. Shouldn't be playing video games. I've got things I should be writing. No. Which RPGs would you like to see based on video games? Answers in the comments. You know where they are. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll try not to rant quite so much next time. And until next time, stay multi-classy.